Deceit versus deception, and a new Archbishop of Canterbury. It's 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV. 5 things you need to know in about 10 minutes for Monday, October 6th, 2025. I'm Derek Gilbert. You can follow us throughout the day. Breaking news posted to our Telegram channel, 5 in 10, or to our X account. Please follow us there at 5_in_10. We'll keep you updated throughout the day. Item number 5 today is the government shutdown. I think many of us here in the United States realizing we can get along just fine without the federal government. Democrats trying to make permanent the enhanced Obamacare subsidies set to expire at the end of this year, saying that millions of Americans could face sharp premium hikes without them. I'm one of the millions of Americans who faced sharp premium hikes with them, but I digress. They also want to prevent the Trump administration from using executive orders to sideline or suspend the Affordable Care Act provisions. But the proposal goes further. Section 2141 of the Democratic version of the continuing resolution would, that's the stopgap funding bill, not an actual budget, would scrap parts of the law in July that cut out many non-citizens from getting federally funded health care. So yes, although Democrats are denying it, they do want to provide taxpayer-funded health care to illegal aliens. Republicans say they're open to considering a fix for the expiring Obamacare tax breaks, but they think this should be handled separately, not used as, a way to hold up the entire government. So yeah, this is the Schumer shutdown, and we'll see which party blinks first. Item number 4 today, Israel, the so-called deal of the millennium now being negotiated between Israel and Hamas in Sharm el-Sheikh, that is a resort city in Egypt. A senior Palestinian Arab official told El Arabiya News that the Hamas terrorists want to demand the release of 6 of their most senior officers currently serving time in Israeli prisons, and in return for the hostages still being held after 2 years in captivity, tomorrow marking the 2nd anniversary of the October 7th massacre. Before the beginning of the negotiations between Israel and Hamas, the officials said the list includes Marwan Barghouti, founder of Fatah's Al-Aqsa brigades. Fatah is the party of Mahmoud Abbas, the president of the Palestinian Authority. Ahmad Saadat, the leader for the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, who was behind the assassination of Minister Rahavim Ze'evi in Israel. Hassan Salama, the Hamas operative responsible for several suicide bombings in Israel. Ibrahim Hamad, a senior Hamas operative who operated a terror network. And Abdullah Barghouti and Abbas al-Said, senior Hamas terrorists from Ramallah and Tulkarm. Both are cities in Samaria, and they were responsible for sending out suicide bombers. You can see why Israel would want to keep them locked up. Hamas wanting these, murderers released in exchange for the hostages. You can see why there are conservatives inside Israel who are saying this is not a good deal. We will see what happens. Item number 3 today, Nigeria. Just a reminder that things continue to be dangerous for Nigerian Christians. They say their communities are under siege by Islamists who are planning genocide. I will say again, as I said last Thursday, this is what authentic genocide looks like, contrary to what's happening in Gaza, where Israel has now moved 900,000 out of the 1 million residents of Gaza City to a humanitarian zone so that they can focus on Hamas operatives inside Gaza City, not civilians. In Nigeria, by contrast, the Fulani militants are going after Christians simply for being Christian. Criminologist Emeka Umegbalasi, who's director of the International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law, told the Catholic News Agency last Monday that Islamists have a strategy to annihilate Nigerian Christians and Islamize the country. And the Nigerian government is going along with this. They're complicit in what he calls a systematic strategy to achieve the extermination of Christians, and that Nigerian security forces do little to prevent raids on Christian villages, just dismissing them as community crimes. Nothing that rises to the level of state intervention. In other words, they're looking the other way because they actually support what is going on. More than 850 Christians remain captive in several camps very close to a Nigerian military base. And again, the Nigerian military looking the other way. Item number 2 today, the Archbishop of Canterbury. Church of England has selected a new Archbishop of Canterbury, that is the ruling prelate in the denomination. And Sarah Mullally on Friday became the first woman to become the spiritual leader of the 85 million Anglicans worldwide, the first woman to hold this role in history. And as you might recall, this the Church of England created under Henry VIII so that he could divorce one of his wives that the Pope wasn't going to let him divorce. He decided to create his own church, and now we've got it, the first woman in 1,400 years, and she's just as woke as you might expect. When asked about queer theory and children at pride parades during the deliberations over her nomination, she remained silent. She just refused to answer. She is outspokenly pro-abortion, so she is pro-Molech, and she is on video at a recent event crying about microaggressions. Microaggressions. And 2 years ago, when she was Bishop of London, she went on the record declaring her support for reducing carbon emissions because climate change apparently is something that requires the attention of the spiritual leader of 85 million Anglicans. Well done, C of E. Coming up, the selfie flotilla. A story just keeps getting better and better. They're all on their way home now, but, well, we will explain why this story gets more entertaining by the day next on 5 and 10.
Pedophiles and groomers are more likely to find your child through the use of social media apps, and they'll start a process called grooming.
It's a word that you've heard a lot over the last decade. Groomers exploit foster children in particular because they have a series of attributes that these human traffickers and groomers are looking for.
Most of how human trafficking begins is actually through social media.
They're looking for young people that have a history of running away. So when nobody knows where they're gone, nobody's looking, because they have a history of running away.
Some of the common misconceptions of human trafficking and child abuse, these are all just overseas cartels that show up with white vans and abduct women in the middle of the night.
They're looking for young people with suicidal thoughts or have had adverse childhood experiences. Hello.
They will groom these children by using often fictitious photographs or personas, or pretend to be a sugar daddy.
Pay attention if young girls without money come home with pedicures. Where were you? Oh, no, boyfriend, he's taking good care of me.
The parents don't even ask how this has happened, but it's because they've met up in the middle of the day with someone looking for love who is uncomfortable with being maybe moderately older than what is legally allowed, but I'm gentle.
The number one thing that you can do to make sure that one of your children does not become one of these children is to be present and to be very visible. None of this stuff where your little kids are doing the tricky little selfies and they're on social media and you have no idea who they're talking about.
And slowly over time that becomes, to say toxic is the understatement of the century. It becomes basically a handler/slave type relationship where the children are abducted and eventually not permitted to go home and forced here in the country into forced prostitution at the behest or the handling of a John or someone that's controlling their schedule.
Item number 1 today, Greta Thunberg and the selfie flotilla is now on their way home. She claimed she was being abused. Of course, Israel is like, videoing everything so that they can document that, no, these folks were treated well, giving blankets and water, and now being given plane fare to send back home. There was one Swedish gentleman who posted a video to Instagram saying, please, Israel, keep Greta. We are sick of her. But nope, she's on her way back to Sweden. The flotilla arrived on Yom Kippur, which compelled a number of Israelis to work on their holiest day on the annual calendar, the Jewish Day of Atonement. The Israeli authorities, when they boarded the vessels, searched the vessels for contraband and, of course, all of the aid that these 47 boats claimed that they were bringing to help alleviate the suffering of the people of Gaza, and they found nothing. There was nothing. I mean, no crates of food, no medical supplies, nothing at all that looked like humanitarian aid. There was evidence of drug use and a lot of alcohol consumption, but there was no way. If there had been any food on those boats, apparently the 500 people on the flotilla ate it all before they were intercepted by the Israeli Navy. As Israeli police spokesman Dean Elston said, quote, "It was never about bringing aid to Gazans. It was all about the headlines and social media followings," end quote. Indeed, it was all performative. This week on Skywatch TV, though, we continue talking about the work at Whispering Ponies Ranch, which is anything but performative, the lives of young children at risk, children in the foster care system, who, many foster parents who volunteer are doing wonderful work, and they do it from a genuine love of children. But statistics don't lie, and kids in the foster system are at much greater risk of being trafficked, of turning to drugs, ending up in gangs, homeless, other self-destructive behaviors, unless their lives are changed. And that is what we try to do with our partners at For the Kids. It's For the Children, excuse me. It used to be Royal Family Kids, but the RFK acronym is now, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., I think, associated with him a little bit more frequently. Anyway, your support makes it possible that these ministries that bring the children to Whispering Ponies Ranch don't pay a dime. So Joe Artis Horn and the staff at Whispering Ponies Ranch report on how your support has changed lives this week. You can watch the program at skywatchtv.com. All of our video content is there. You can also watch it right now over the air. Our broadcast schedule posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. Of course, we'll broadcast on your schedule if you just add the Skywatch TV channel to your set-top box or smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, Google TV, and Android TV as well. You can find it in their app stores. Just add it, and we'll be there whenever you click your remote. On the internet, youtube.com/@Skywatch Television. Please subscribe, share, click the bell for notifications, hit the like button, leave your comments below the programs. And we ask you to do the same at rumble.com/Skywatch TV. Or download our free mobile app to your smartphone or tablet. We've got versions available for iOS, Android, and Amazon Kindle Fire devices. And it's free. We've got links to their app stores at skywatchtv.com/app. Follow 5 and 10 online, Telegram, the 5 and 10 channel, X, formerly Twitter, @5_in_10, and on YouTube, @5in10. Please subscribe, share, click that bell for notifications. Hit that like button and leave your comments below. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.